Welcome to the Music Nut Program. I'm John Alapic, and this is an album ranking. Today, I will rank the six studio album discography of the fantastic New York City band Living Colour. Living Colour have been active since their 1988 debut, Vivid, but their discography has been very sparse. The members of the band are involved in a lot of different projects outside of the band. So in the last 3 years, last 20 years or so, we've only had three albums. But this is a catalog which is very, very strong. Even after their star had fallen on radio and MTV. Living Colour are considered a funk metal band, but they're actually so much more. They are uh, excellent musicians, very eclectic, and very topically and socially aware. The lineup today is Corey Glover on lead vocals, Vernon Reid on guitars, Doug Wimbish on bass guitars, and William Calhoun on drums. Doug Wimbish came in on their third album, Stain, in 1993. Their first two albums, Vivid and Time's Up, featured Muzz Skillings on bass guitar. So let's get into the albums. My number six is their fifth album, released in 2009, Chair in the Doorway. This album, along with Vivid, is probably the ones that are their most immediate. This is more hard hitting than Vivid. We don't have as much melody on here, although there is some great melodic songs on here. But a lot of this album really hits hard, such as The Chair, which just has a wicked aggressive riff on it. Decadence stays in that same vein. Young Man is very cool. Behind the Sun's very melodic, a great guitar line in there from Vernon, and a wonderful vocal performance from Corey. Bless Those, Little Annie's Prayer. We're going more into like a country blues on here, but it's really cool. Hard Times is kind of a blues feel too, but it hits harder. That's What You Taught Me is another very melodic song that works very well. Out of My Mind is very good. We also have a bonus hidden track on here called Asshole. And for a song called Asshole, it's quite catchy. That comes in after 4 minutes and 33 seconds of silence. John Cage. So, my number six is Chair in the Doorway. Still, even though it's number six in my rankings, very good album. So, my number five is their fourth album, their first album in 10 years at this point, from 2003, Kaleidoscope. When I first heard this album, I was not high on it. I thought it was very top heavy. I still think the best songs are at the beginning, and with this album, they start out on fire. Song Without Sing, you can argue as their best opener of an album. And I know I'm saying that with Cults of Personality opening Vivid, but this song just kills. Question of When is in that same mode. I was talking about their eclecticism earlier. Here we have some industrial sounds on here. We have some reggae sounds on here. And we have some songs that border on psychedelia. They're really cool. Operation Mind Control is a song that is more in the industrial vein. Flying is one of their best songs. This is a song that has this very solemn, laid back feel to it, but it's about people who were jumping off buildings during 9/11. So it takes on a very serious topic, and Corey has a wonderful vocal on here, but lyrically, it's just talking about something very, very heavy to us. In Your Name is a cool track that's more industrial. They cover AC/DC's Back in Black. Musically, it's fine. I don't think Corey should have touched this song. His voice just doesn't fit that song. But other cool songs on here. We got the reggae vibes of Nightmare City. We have more of a modern, hard-hitting blues and Holy Roller. We have Choices Mash Up, which is very chaotic. Sacred Ground is very good. Tomorrow Never Knows is the cover of the Beatles track, and it's very, very well done. A lot of good songs on here, even though I think the best ones are at the beginning. My number five is Kaleidoscope from 2003. My number four is their latest album. This was released in 2017. This is Shade. This album, they sound very energetic, and it's just a very positive album. I mean, they sound very spirited and alive. The performances on here are stellar. It has a great production, and which is interesting. This was recorded in several different studios, but you can't tell by the finished products. The performances on here again are wonderful. We do have a few covers, but that opening track, Freedom of Expression, just brings you in. It kicks ass. We got a cover of Robert Johnson's Preachin' Blues, which is very, very cool. They certainly make this song and the other two songs that they cover on here their own. Before I go into the rest of the songs, they wrote a lot with Kendra Jones, Bernard Hawkins on this album. They added a lot as far as the production and the songwriting as well, and Andre Betts as well. I cannot forget him. So their contributions really helped us make this album shine. Come On is a really cool tune. Program is very, very strong. I believe this was the single. And I saw them on this tour, and they hit this album pretty hard. And Program sounded great live. The spoken word part in the beginning, where you hear the two guys having a conversation about the song Cult's Personality, is pretty cool. We got a cover of Notorious B.I.G.'s Who Shot Ya, which really, really smokes. Blackout's really cool. It's got a lot more atmosphere to it with its stop start rhythm. Pattern and Time is very good. Glass Teeth is very driving and melodic. Who's That is another really cool tune. They do a cover of Marvin Gaye's Inner City Blues. The verses stay very true to the original, and then they go into the chorus, they make it their own. It's a lot more hard hitting, more funk metal, you could say. And Two Sides is a great ballad that closes the album. Corey Glover could sing anything except Back in Black, but he really soars on ballads when he has the opportunity to do so. My number four is Shade from 2017. My number three is their third album. This came out in 1993, and this is Stain. Now, originally I had the red jewel case for this, but I had to replace it because it cracked. This album I liked a lot when it came out, and now I think it's a 9 out of 10 easy. This doesn't really have a hit single to jump out at you. Like, there's more melodic songs on the first two albums, which I'm going to discuss shortly. Leave It Alone was the video, which is pretty cool. And you got those horns in there blending in with the guitars is very good. Ignorance is Bliss, I believe that was a single as well, and that's very, very cool. Nothingness, I believe they put a video out for. That's a nice ballad with a lot of strings on it. A very tender vocal from Corey on there. Excellent, excellent track. A lot of this album, very hard hitting. The opening track, Go Away, just kicks ass. Mind Your Own Business is very hard hitting. Bye, very melodic, catchy song about bisexuality. 1993, this wasn't going to probably go over well. We're now more in a more receptive society. Maybe this would get more love at this point. Just an observation. Never Satisfied is very strong. Postman is heavy as hell. That bass line from Doug on here just cuts. It is very strong. This Little Pig, we're going more in a punk direction on here, and Wall is a excellent closer. The Wall Between Us, Almost Fall. It was very important 1993 and means even more in 2025. It's a song they always do live as well. My number three is Stain from 1993. My number two is the band's debut album from 1988. And this is Vivid. This is their most successful album. This went double platinum in the United States. This gave the band their only two top 40 hits in the wonderful Cult of Personality, which a lot of people know now as CM Punk. And it's CM Punk's theme song. CM Punk, the wonderful professional wrestler who's been one of the greats for the last 20 years, and Glamour Boys, which was it was more catchy, more poppy, but it had a very great message in there. Open Letter to a Landlord was the third single. That stalled on the charts. I think that's the best song they ever did. That is a song about growing up in the city and in New York City and what a lot of people had to go through with their houses being their apartments being torn down. A very heavy subject. These guys were always in the thick of that. They wrote about what they knew. Other strong tracks on here, Middleman Destroys. It's wonderful bass line on here, great riffs, excellent performance. It just comes in, just kicks your ass. Desperate People, that's a little more hard hitting. Funny Vibe is a very cool song. It's very different. This is definitely more in the funk thing. Very, very cool. We got a cover of the Talking Heads, Memories Can't Wait, originally released on Fear of Music. It's very cool. Broken Hearts is a decent track with some horns on this. I believe Mick Jagger might have co-wrote this song with the band. What's Your Favorite Color is pretty cool. Which Way to America's another strong track on here. Everything on here is very good. The only thing I don't think it has the eclecticism that has on the next album I'm going to talk about. The production is of its time. And a song like I Want to Know, which is a pretty cool pop song, it doesn't sound like something they would record today. Or if you look back in retrospect, it sounds like something they were forced to do. And I think that song and a song like Broken Hearts or maybe Glamour Boys has that same vibe, although they're all good songs. But there's a lot of great ones on here, and Cult of Personalities become their signature song and has become iconic. Yes, I mean that. My number two is Vivid from 1988. My number one is an album that I have talked gloriously about on a lot of channels, and I'm about to do it here on my own. My number one is their second album from 1990, Time's Up, an eclectic tour de force. A lot of people call this a mess, and I will say again, it is a wonderful mess because the songwriting is fantastic throughout here. And when I heard this album, I thought this band could do no wrong. And I thought they were going to take over the world. And I always say that with a little bit of emotion, but it's real to me. Now, the opening track is the title track is a tribute to Bad Brains, and it really hits hard. We got some little snippets in here, spoken word snippets that really bring the album in, like not just spoken word, but some little jazz pieces on here and instrumental parts that are really cool. It really ties the album together. Pride is a kick-ass opener that got played a lot on album-oriented rock stations. Love Rears Its Ugly Head. This is like a quasi blues that got played. Got some AOR play. One thing about this album, none of these songs hit pop radio. They hit in Australia and Canada. They got more love than they did here in the United States. Love Rears Its Ugly Head is their take on a blues song in 1990, but it's very, very cool. Great vocal performance from Corey. I know I've been saying that a lot. New Jack theme kicks ass. It takes names. It hits hard and it's very driving and menacing and very cool. Someone Like You, we slow down the pace a little bit. That's another strong track that hits really hard. Just straight up hard rock on that one. Elvis is Dead. They made a video for this. And if you were around in 1990, you always heard these rumors that Elvis was still alive. And this is what they're talking about in this song. Very funky. We got a appearance from Little Richard on here on vocals, which is really cool. Type was the first video and single from the album here in the States. This very heavy lyrically, really cool tune, excellent chorus, and the bridge, everything that goes around, comes around is really, really cool. That's just the first half. Information overload, something we have even more of in 2025. That song really hits hard. What an incredible solo from Vernon Reid on here. This kills. Undercover of Darkness, we're talking about safe sex. And we got Queen Latifah doing a spoken word rap in the middle, which is really, really cool. Ology is just a bass solo from Skillings. It goes into Fight the Fight. Fight the Fight is fantastic. I would love to hear some R&B act or some gospel act cover that song because it really hits. It's got a different vibe to it. It's very atmospheric, but I just hear a gospel, a gospel group here doing this song. I just really hear that. Tag Team Partners is an instrumental that goes into Salsa You. What a wonderful ballad we have on here. Wonderful bridge on this. Fantastic. This Is the Life is the heavy psychedelic closing track. And this just destroys. Another great bridge on this song, too. Corey sings the heck out of it. It is superb. This whole album is superb. It only went gold. We didn't have a hit single. Or it's not accessible. It's a grower. But when it has you permanently. It's my favorite album of 1990, and it is Time's Up. I would be remiss if I don't mention their EP that came out right after Time's Up. This came out in 1991 or 92, I believe. This is Biscuits, just a 6-song EP. We got covers of James Brown's Talking Loud and Saying Nothing and Al Green's Love and Happiness, as well as a really cool take on Jimi Hendrix's Burning of the Midnight Lamp, where we go with that psychedelia meets hip hop and funk. Really, really cool. We got live versions of Desperate People and Memories Can't Wait. The last track is Money Talks, which was originally going to be on Time's Up. And you listen to this, and this just destroys, and you're like, why wasn't this on Time's Up? It's just the Time's Up was so good that you had to take something off. But this song is great. You listen to this, it's very accessible, very driving. Great song, great melodic hard rock. But it's just that Time's Up, which was already an hour of glorious music, you had to take something out. So Money Talks didn't make the cut on Time's Up. But if you can get your hands on Biscuits, it's definitely worth your time. Now, just to recap the album ranking here today, my personal album ranking, my favorites. Number 6 is Chair in the Doorway, or The Chair in the Doorway. Number 5 is Kaleidoscope. Number 4 is Shade. Number 3 is Stain. Number 2 is Vivid. And number 1, album for the ages, in my opinion, Time's up. So, what do you think of Living Color? What are your favorite albums? How would you rank this catalog? Did you just stop after the third album, or maybe even the first two? What are your favorite songs by Living Color? Have you seen them live? And did they destroy you like they destroyed me? I only saw them once, and that was on the Shade tour. So they hit the Shade album pretty hard, but it was a kick ass performance. They still sound amazing. Corey Glover sings like he did in 1988. He's that good. And the band is still so tight and they can just stop on a dime and do any kind of music you want them to play. They are killer. Vernon Reid rips it up on guitar, and Doug Wimbish and William Calhoun have always been a fantastic rhythm section. So thank you so much for joining me today. I will have more of these album rankings going on down the road. I will have an album war episode coming up in the next few days. That was requested by one of my loyal viewers. And I will also be doing a top 10, my top 10 favorite albums from 2005. I'm going to make sure I have that out by Saturday, May 3rd, 2025, if not sooner, just to give you some one programming update. Please join us on Grant's Rock Warehouse on Monday, May 5, 2025. This will be live at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let me get a drink. Where I will be joining the incomparable Grant Arthur, along with DC Toontime, BM Bolts, Yvonne the Music Man. Maybe we'll have Johnny Metal, I'm not sure. We'll all be talking about our 10 favorite songs from 1990. That will be live Monday, May 5, 2025 at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope you can join us. We always have a great vibe communicating with everybody in the chat. It's always a great time. And the time flies by like that, but it's like an almost 2 hour show, but it feels like 30 minutes when you're doing it. So thank you so much for joining me today. Do what you love, and I'll talk to you soon.